Welcome back. Joe Biden's speech last night. How'd you guys like that? Did it just bring the country together, fix the issues with hyperinflation that was supposed to be transitory? Did it, make everybody feel better about the food shortages that are coming, the lack of fertilizer, the lack of minerals? Did it make the EV car, the environmental people feel better knowing that, now that Joe came out and said something about the high temperatures in California and the don't plug your hybrid car, your electric car into the sockets because we can't afford the electricity right now? Did it make all that better? Did this make the nearly $1 trillion bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, did that make that feel better? That you invested your time, your money into saving the environment when we can't even charge the cars in California during a heat wave? Did this make everything better for everybody? Do we feel more united now? That people that supported Donald Trump, which I'm one of them, that believe in Make America Great Again, are considered a threat to our democracy, basic terrorists? Well, the problem we have is we're a constitutional republic. So the liberals, this is speaking to you. This is speaking to all of you that have taken this left stance. One of the greatest activists that ever lived, Russell Means, a Lakota Native American, was quoted in saying that this is a complete disaster, calling this a democracy. The democracy is mob rule. 51% of the population tell the other 49 what to do. That's called mob rule. We're not a democracy for a reason, just like Joe Biden said in his speech. Down deep, we're a democracy. No, we're not a democracy. There's a reason for that. This way, the entire United States has a voice versus 6 wolves sitting alone with 4 sheep, and they're all debating what's for dinner. We all know the outcome. That's what a democracy is. Democracy has failed because democracies are 51% rule the other 49 with an iron fist. You guys got to get this through your head. This is ludicrous. Joe Biden is dividing the country, caused the biggest dumpster fire in our history. We've never been at this point. We're at war with Russia, contrary to mainstream media, the bobbleheads, the political bad guys that do everything that they're told by their overlords, the kleptocrat Decepticons that run the global finances. You left guys need to get this through your heads. You are working for the empire. We used to rage against the machine. Back in the metal days, we were against the government because the government was overreaching. The kleptocrat Decepticons at the top were using us as slaves. We broke against the system. We fought against it. We rebelled against the system because the system was oppressive. It was oppressive then. We've been through all kinds of inflationary times. We watched our parents, all of us, suffer through poverty because of the rich global investors that live off the backs of everybody else and extract the resources from everywhere to make themselves rich. Now let's get into this about Joe Biden and his policies. The Green New Deal, save the environment. What has Joe Biden done for the oil companies? Made them more money than they've ever made, except for during the Barack Obama administration when fuel was so high. He has made the ultra-rich, ultra-rich. He has continued to do what he's been doing. Biden is a corporate shill. He is a career politician that's been in so long, it's insane. He's been in politics longer than I've been alive, and I'm 48. You guys on the left, you just witnessed Stalin, Mussolini, and Hitler combined into one named Joe Biden, which I would call Pell Rider. He is the 4th horseman of the apocalypse. The blood red in the background, that is blood red. That wasn't red, that was blood red. Oxygenated blood with his 2 Marines down in the background. As he said, people that believe Make America Great Again are the threat to our democracy. This is beyond what you guys think. You have caused division. You are causing civil division. You're possibly causing a civil war. That's on you. You have to stop this. You are working for the Thefticons. Just like I said in all my former videos. They took the COVID money. They sucked it up. They gave people a bunch of money to do absolutely nothing, to hide in their basements. But yet they want war with Russia. They're ready for nuclear war. They don't care about nuclear war. The nuclear war is a virus off 6 feet away. Run, run, run. Hide your basement. Here's some money. Hide your basement. They weren't afraid of that after COVID. Then, like I told you, supply chains. Magically, the supply chains were cut. Well, it's due to COVID. No, it's due to frivolous money spending, fake money you took from us to give to your buddies. It goes up. They have made the rich globalists richer than they've ever could imagine, even with inflation, because they dropped the price of gold and invest in gold. We all know this. This is what's happening. It's what's been, they stole all the money. I told you guys before, they've been stealing all the money. You guys calling yourself liberals and Democrats and all this, you're all implicated in this. You need to wake up. Russell Means, one of the greatest Native American activists ever born, brought about change. That was real division in his days. You guys don't get this. And just to give you a sense of what Biden is capable of, it was Obama and Biden at the DAPL protest that was the president and the vice president when Native Americans were being beaten in broad daylight on MSN. They didn't care to even cover it. If they did, they were like, oh, DAPL protest. I watched a foreign investigator record Native Americans being sprayed with freezing cold water in Cannonball, North Dakota, hit with explosive canisters. It's sickening what happened that night. Biden was the vice president. You need to wake up. This is the largest theft in human history. The largest. And believe me, Joe Biden is the fourth horseman of the apocalypse. The seal has been opened. And hell is following with him. And we can even see that in this video. This is dangerous. This is absolutely, utterly dangerous. Do not support Biden. Do not support the Democrats. There is a point where when you call a certain political party, a demographic, an ethnicity, a threat to a country's democracy, that's inciting civil war. He is definitely responsible for that as of now, and so is all his cohorts in Washington that are doing this. They're all involved. If you're an American, this is the last. This is it. The Democrats, the Democratic Party has been corrupted. You need to stand down. You need to tell the Democrat Party, enough is enough. What was done and said by Joe Biden is over. It needs to stop. This division and this threatening, never in a million years. Never in a million years because this ever happened. Not in our republic. Not in our republic. Sorry, there's tons of pop-ups. So I need to, I don't know who installed this, whatever stuff. Anyway, that's the start of this program. Our constitutional republic is in more danger now than it has been since its beginning. This is a new vision. This is a new country stated by the fourth horseman, Pell Rider, Joe Biden, last night. He wants to look forward, not in the past. He doesn't want to look back at the Constitution. This is his democracy. This is their democracy. You all need to wake up. This is what happened with Mussolini. This is what happened with Adolf Hitler. This is reverse psychology 101. The violence was perpetrated by Antifa and BLM and other groups upon Trump supporters or Republicans or people that wanted to vote for Trump. That is actually using terrorism to stop the election of a president. That was true terrorism on national television. I can't believe MSN. They're sitting there standing mostly peaceful and the whole background's on fire. You can't keep living this lie. That's to Antifa, that's to all you guys. You can't keep living this lie. You don't understand what Joe Biden and the Democrats have planned for you. You don't. The greatest leader of the Native people, which a lot of people say, that's not Russell Means. It was Russell Means in modern history. He went before even the Rhino Republicans and told them about the reservation systems and the injustices to the Native Americans of North America. He even said, this is a bad system. They're playing the king of the hill. They're trying to knock each other off the top of what they call a democracy. You wake up. Get the bad guys out of what we call Washington. Get them out. Vote them out. Get them all out. You need to join at least the Republicans because they have somewhat of sanity. The Republicans are actually starting, like Ron DeSantis and all those guys, if they stand for sanity and says, hey, let's get rid of these guys, me and you both know that the corruption once they hit Washington is astronomical. And they'll probably end up a lobbyist for a Pfizer group or a oil company. That's how Washington works. We have to change the culture in Washington. This type of culture can't continue. We've been basically controlled and enslaved by Washington and the elites, the Bohemian Grove people, and by Charles Schwab and all the other great elites, global elites that are playing out our future even here in America. We have been hijacked. We used to fight against the fact of low wages and us being slaves to taxation and to the rich. That's what we were working 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, and getting punished for any overtime through taxes. That was all our cause. We were right there. The Republicans and Democrats, we were all saying, this is dumb. How do you use people like this? We've set through massive housing market bubbles that have made the rich even richer. Why put people in the streets? Unaffordable housing, starvation is real, hunger is real. If you don't qualify for these benefits, you were in the streets. You wonder why you got such a homeless problem. Drug addiction. Because the rich are getting richer, even using housing as a massive kleptocracy theft mechanism. In apartments, they're doing this. They've been doing this for years. Every time there's a bubble, they are making more money than hands over. And people are like, that right there is a free market capitalism. It's not. This is a communist dollar dump by the non-government, not your elected officials, a part of your government, Federal Reserve, that sends your money out of the market to be squandered by the rich. And then flipped over for whatever they can get that's going to hold value, and then they let the currency fall through inflation. They've been doing it forever. We have to join a party. I already have the Gold Eagle Party. I want to set up the Gold Eagle Party. I have Gold Eagle on Facebook. I have Gold Eagle on YouTube. We need to set up a separate political party that encompasses Republicans, Democrats, everybody in the middle. People are just sitting there going, why do I pay so much in taxes? Where's my benefit? You punish me for what? For being forced to work 60 hours a week? You increase my taxes? For being forced to work longer? Hello. That right there should be a battle cry for all of us. Taxing overtime. If you're going above beyond the call of duty, you can work 30 hours a week and just kick back and get some subsidies. But the people who work 60 hours a week, 70 hours a week, boot to the head, give me your money. There's a lot we can fix in this country if we got control by starting a political party and growing it and saying this is the real party. There would be massive pushback. You don't the rabbit hole in this government is so big and so deep, so corrupt and so deadly. If we don't create another system that's away from these people, vote Republican now. Just try to get some sanity back in the system because they're going to allow you that sanity back if they do. They got a plan because Washington's corrupt. If we started another political party, not like the Tea Party movement that got infiltrated by evil people, we have to start some other party to take the insanity out of everything and take Washington out of politics and eliminate all special interests. Special interest should be a felony charge. Coercing a representative or paying a representative should be completely illegal. You try to get a minute with your representative, find out how much it pays you. That's state level too. This type of behavior has got to be stopped. In order for us to fix our perfect union, which is our republic, we have to fix that first. Washington has to be fixed. State levels have to be fixed. We have to take back our government. Our government is corrupt, it's evil, it's wicked, it works for the special interests of the kleptocrats, global kleptocrats. This is a theft ring. They've impoverished all of us. Whether or not people believe it, they think they're doing good now. You're living on liquidity from the Federal Reserve that's been put out from all the debt dollars they're going to collect in the future from your grandchildren. This is like borrowing 20, 30 years in the future so you can run around and buy a big hat and some flippy things like on Dumb and Dumber. This is literally like, Harry, Lloyd, don't go spend all of our money. It's all we got. And they're like, okay. Beard, big cowboy hat and all that, flippy things in the wind. And that's what's happened in Washington. We have to take control of our politics. The two-party system has to come to a crashing end. We have to develop a third party and put the other two parties that are all in it together out. We got to get them as the minorities. We got to be the majority in the Senate, the House, and in the presidency. Then we need to eliminate all special interests. We need to eliminate it all. We need to eliminate campaign funding. We should not allow campaign funding for any representative. A representative should be paid as if they're working a job. And that's it. And those representatives that work for special interests or lobby groups or Bear Stearns or having ties to those people or those corporations should not be considered for candidacy for a free people. They should not be allowed to run for office. Lawyers, on top of that, need to be gone through. They need to be checked out. And I mean inspected their record, because lawyers are some of the biggest crooks you'll ever meet. They will get a pedophile off. They'll get a murderer off of a charge, but they'll put a good guy in jail. They'll put a completely innocent woman in jail. Lawyers do this. They take from the injured a huge portion for doing basically nothing. That we should do in our court systems on our own by representing ourselves. This is where America needs to be. Joe says the vision for the new America. Let's look forward, not back. No, let's look back and forward and say this has been a dumpster fire. You caused $30 trillion debt. You've been stealing everything. You're crushing people. You caused a massive drug epidemic. You won't close our southern border, allows all them drugs to flow up through. Yeah, you're responsible for that, reps, Democrats. You're responsible for those deaths. Because, hey, I was drunk. Or, hey, I didn't do that. I crashed in a crowd of people, but, I fell asleep. The same type of thing, someone asleep at the wheel. They have control to close the border. They have the ability to shut down the drug epidemic. They have full ability to do that. They can do that. But they're not. They need to take responsibility for what they've done. They need to take responsibility for the future. We need to get them out of office. It's 45 News YouTube. I'm going to try to post this, see if it goes to YouTube. I've been stifled for months, a year. Can't get anything up on YouTube. I'm going to try. This isn't dangerous rhetoric. This isn't considered treason. This isn't considered a threat to our democracy. Because we're a constitutional republic. Joe Biden, you said, down deep, we're a democracy. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're a constitutional republic. The threat to our democracy, that you're calling a democracy, is calling this a democracy. Because that's mob rule. And that goes on top of all your leftist agendas. That was stated. I told you it was stated by. That is the truth and that is factual. What do you want better? Communists? No. No, communism is a failed institution. We need real capitalism. But we don't need imprisoned people paying for the ultra-theptocratic rich that suck off the Federal Reserve. That's our tax money. That's how this whole monkey scheme works. That's how it all works. The Federal Reserve is the ones that cause the inflation. That's it, in a nutshell. The creature from Jekyll Island is what's called by one of the Glenn Beck and his sponsors. It is. It's banks sending out your future tax dollars causing massive inflation. You are paying for this. Like I said in my former videos, you will pay for their theft that they've done since the COVID outbreak. You will pay for it. And we are. It's called hyperinflation. Ask the Brits right now if this is just inflation. Ask the Brits, which are experiencing massive inflation as we speak, even worse than us. Ask them if that's hyperinflation. Go ahead. Look it up. There's a reason why Joe did what he did last night. There's a mess in Ukraine. He was just after the anniversary of his debacle in Afghanistan. The economy's out of control. Inflation's out of control. The fake bubble housing market's crashing. We have the threat of people actually freezing to death because of gas shortages. We've taken away the fertilizer from our farmers for the Green New Deal. The list goes on and on. The dumpster fire continues. It's factual. You can only do so much until people start to freeze and go hungry. But it's Putin. No, it's because you cut the fertilizer off because you don't want nitrogen levels in the soil because it's not environmentally healthy. And that makes the commodity investors extremely sickening rich. We can't burn fossil fuels. Let's cut gas out. That makes the rich oil barons and investors extremely rich. Reverse psychology isn't working on me. It shouldn't work on you either. All policies that they are implementing has been set to make them and their buddies extremely rich. Okay, California can't even plug their cars in right now. They don't want them to because they're draining the already drained electric grid. Hello. They're making themselves rich. You guys need to think about this. They are making themselves and their buddies rich. While we are sitting here trudging through the mud, trying to make a living, watching people pile into one house, renting a bedroom for $500 a month. Becoming a communal living country. Communal living, everybody piled into one house, they can't afford an apartment. Why they bulldoze everything and build massive complexes. But you'd be paying so much you can't hardly live. That's how they keep you all under control. It's just like save the environment. Let's go green, save the environment, and bulldoze everything and put condos in. Go hiking and run it all up and down, everything. Look, I can hike a part of nature. No, you're not part of nature. You're destroying nature. Those of us has been here before. Those of us that are part of the circle of life. Look at the people that are coming and saying, I got to save the world, save nature. So they ask me anything and I say, you know, I remember what nature was before you came. There was a balance in the West, the wild countries. And now there isn't. Why? Because you came to save the environment. You came to save the world. Green new energy. Save the world. Save the planet. Save the polar bears. While you're bulldozing nature. For what? Their profits. And your Richie house up on the hill. That used to be deer winter range. That used to have wildlife. Anyway, I got to go. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Be sure to like and subscribe.